Reunited!
It aired.
Yeah.
Reunited! Welcome back to Crystal Clear on the Roundtable. I'm Oscar Vlog.
I'm Retro Nemo!
My name is Tom.
And we, on this Monday, after the weekend, let's digest, we're here to talk about the Steven Universe half-hour episode, Reunited. Double length, double the diamonds.
Double cheeked up.
On a Monday afternoon.
Double cheeked up on a Thursday afternoon, hella ass, the sun is still out.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm just gonna say it. Best episode.
I think it's one of the best episodes of the show. I think it's definitely encapsulated everything everyone loves about the show.
Most important episode.
This episode is a huge turning point. It's the accumulation of multiple plot lines. And we got the diamonds, we got everyone dealing with Rose being Pink Diamond, the cluster.
We got a song.
We should go by it piece by piece because the episode is broken up into 3 segments as all half hours are.
Right.
So the first segment, we open up with a song where Steven's reflecting on everything that's been happening with Rose and Pink Diamond. He decides that today he just wants to focus on love. And this musical number, one of the best for sure. I think it's definitely the most Broadway-ish musical number the show has had before, like even more than Mr. Greg, all the songs in that, because this one, you had the characters talking while Steven was singing. It was very
It was very musical.
Yeah, the chip tunes, even like the way it was storyboarded direction, it was almost like choreographed, but in animation form. It just felt like literally it was a musical number I could see watching like on a big Broadway production. Like if there was a Steven's musical, I would want this song to be in there.
Definitely.
And we got to see everyone's in wedding outfits for the entirety of the episode. Steven's in a tux, Pearl's also in the tux. I believe they're both in the same tux for Mr. Greg. So it's a throwback. And this opening had a lot of callbacks. Steven used the razor Garnet gave him in 3 Gems and the Baby. He had his one strand of facial hair from Steven's birthday.
Paradox, yellow dress was so cute.
Paradox has a yellow dress, but Bismuth is wearing armor because it's the nicest thing she owns.
Yeah, I want to meme that so hard.
What do you mean?
It's a nice thing, and she's has a Hollister shirt or something. I feel like there's a lot of potential.
It's just like a frat boy. It's like a glow.
It's one of those shirts that's like I hate kids with anime t-shirts.
It's the nicest thing I own.
Today, Steven just wants to focus on love, and we have when Steven goes to see Peridot where the barn used to be, she's like, what if Lapis is right? The diamond's gonna come to her cluster, which happens in the episode.
Yeah. Foreshadowing for real.
Yeah. Pretty blatant what this episode's gonna be about. It gives you a feel for it. But yeah, Steven's like, today we're just going to focus on love. And we get to the wedding. Greg's playing an instrumental version of Stronger Than You. Sapphire's in the tux, Ruby's in the dress, kind of like subverting expectations. Everyone, Ruby's perceived to be the more masculine one. Yeah. Sapphire's perceived to be the more feminine one, but, Sapphire's in the tux. It's pretty obvious, but also people are saying how, E and JQ is the Sapphire, the relationship around Break and Sugar is the Ruby, so that's also kind of imagery there. But also it's going to be hard for other countries to censor this scene now because of it. Other places can't skip this episode. It's the turning point of the series. It's without a doubt one of the most important episodes of the series. So I'm just mad curious to see how people are the UK, known for censoring, gay, suggestive, provocative stuff in Steven Universe. How are countries gonna handle this? Are they just not gonna air this episode? It's just gonna cancel it before it gets to this point?
It just seems so intentional. They're like, we'll fit the quasi-gay marriage into the most important episode of the series ever, so they can't just skip the episode. That was really smart on their part.
That's a good plan.
And when Garnet refuses, she has her own, it's like a mix of a tux and a dress. It looks so beautiful.
Yeah.
And we also have all the, not every single BT citizen, because Mr. Smiley.
He was there. He was in a seat. I think I remember seeing him in a seat.
Yeah, he was there.
I don't remember seeing Mr. Smiley.
I remember seeing.
We can get fact checks on that.
Yeah, roll a clip. Mr. Smiley.
He was there in a seat. I think I remember seeing him.
Yeah, he was there.
I don't remember seeing Mr. Smiley.
We can get fact checks.
Ronaldo's wearing his armor from Keep BTD Weird, and there's a scene of him actually at the reception talking to Bismuth, and they're, because they're both in their armor, and Bismuth's just like, what is this guy talking about? So I want to know what he was saying.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee it was some grade A bullshit that Bismuth was just like, what? But just seeing all these gems, especially Bismuth, Peridot interacting with the townies, especially because Bismuth just got unbubbled, that was really nice to see. I also liked how Jamie's looking at Garnet, and Mayor Dewey's looking at his former posse.
And then they run away together?
Yeah, they decided to just dance together.
Was that did they read too much into that?
I think it's just a joke.
Oh, they were going to dance.
But what if they are gay?
It looked like they were running away, hugging each other.
What if Mayor Dewey is a sugar daddy?
That's what I'm starting to think.
Maybe.
He's all I have.
Dewey daddy?
I don't want to be a mailman forever. Mayor Dewey starts funding like plays.
Sugar Dewey.
Sugar Dewey. Mayor Dewey just becomes a pimp. It's better.
He probably has some money left over.
Universe, you still got those girls in your cave? Like,
oh my god. But yeah, honestly, the first segment of the episode is pretty straight to the point. They get married. It's everyone's having a good time.
yeah.
And Steven, he gets a little choked up, and he starts to cry. And I was like, "Oh, Steven, don't cry."
No.
But then the tears keep coming.
Oh.
The tears keep coming,
Car alarms
And they
go
don't
off.
stop coming.
and they don't stop coming.
Fed to the rules, but I hit the ground running.
And then the diamonds are here.
Do you know how scary that is? Steven will never be able to tell if he's just crying or if like Blue Diamond's gonna come to kill him.
Oh, I guess now it doesn't matter.
Yeah, at this point.
So going on to the second segment of the episode, the diamonds arrive, and at first I'm like here we go. Like, you're wondering like, why are they there? Like, are they just coming for Rose Quartz? But they're just like, today's the day we're just gonna destroy the Earth? They go right past the gems, and at that point I'm like, they're going for the cluster. Like, it came out of nowhere. They just start banging, trying to get the cluster to emerge in its injection spot.
That is a good point. They just like rush right in, and then Peridot's like, "We're over here," but they don't care. They're just like,
They're here for the cluster. Steven's like, I gotta calm it down. And this is where the episode really picked up for me, because at first I thought they're not gonna pop the cluster. Steven manages to fall asleep. He checks in on the cluster. It pops!
Mm-hmm.
It just pops. The cluster pops.
I mean, yeah,
I didn't see that. Did you see that coming?
yeah, it had to have.
Did you see it coming, Tom? Like, I honestly did not expect the cluster to pop.
I mean, I love the way he just wakes up and he's like, "It popped," and then we're like,
Yeah. And then it starts emerging, and
Yeah.
it looks like not all of it emerged, but a portion of the cluster emerged as a giant arm, which, arm ships.
Right, but it's like what's
Arm ships.
under there. If it's just like the arm.
I don't know how I feel about that scene though.
What?
Like the fact that like everything just kind of stops like in the middle of everything going on. And they're like, "Oh, I gotta go fall asleep."
Well, stuff was still going on in the background though. Like you heard like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
and then Greg played Lullaby.
but like then they just like everything slowed down for a second though, and like I feel like that scene wasn't really necessary.
I mean,
but he had to see that the cluster popped.
yeah.
I mean, they could have written some other way for him to see it though.
I mean,
feel
it would have been like more like, heck, if it just came out. And he's
I feel like it was the
"Oh,
most effective way. Plus, it led for a great comedic moment of like how quickly Stephen fell asleep through like literal earthquakes.
I'm just being nitpicky, honestly.
So the cluster came out and they started arm wrestling.
Yeah. Okay. I honestly think because first the cluster emerges, that's already a pretty like oh my god moment. But then it gets even crazier because it just punches and decks Yellow Diamond's arm ship. It was just so perfect just because you already like. You're not going to this episode thinking the cluster's going to pop.
Right, yeah.
But then not only does it pop, it fights alongside the crystal gems. The cluster is a crystal gem.
Full circle.
That's monumental. And it makes
circle.
sense because they said the cluster was the shards of a billion crystal gems put together. So obviously, since they were crystal gems, they still have a grudge against the diamonds. And since Steven calmed them down, they're in control of themselves.
Yeah.
So for the cluster to just start scrapping it's perfect. It was amazing. And it's essentially you're just watching them arm wrestle, which I also thought was amusing.
That is brilliant because it's like they have to show this giant important fight, but it's like a TVPG show. How do they do it? It's like with an arm wrestle. Yeah, that's like not violent at all, but it means so much that that's happening. It's such a smart way of doing it.
You're right.
I don't know. I'm just blown away.
Especially just because the diamonds in their arm ships like that they're the elites. Like there's nothing else like them. So for the cluster to take the form of a giant arm to wrestle, it's very fitting. I feel like it's very poetic for what the diamonds. They didn't expect it to blow up in their face, and it totally did. Something else that I liked is before the cluster turns on the diamonds. While everyone's evacuating, you see Ronaldo take out his plastic sword, and it looks like he's about to start swinging at the cluster, and PD just pulls him away like don't, no. And
PD can lift. He just like straight up like picked him up over his head and ran away.
That's a good use of Ronaldo because even though I enjoy his character, a lot of people are really mixed on Ronaldo, and I feel like throughout all of season 5 there hasn't been a huge like Ronaldo-focused episode, but he's just been there for one-off jokes that are still very in character. And I feel like that's how you use a character like that, who's kind of controversial, but some things he says is foreshadowing, but also he's just really wacky and full of conspiracy theories. And maybe if we do a season 5 overview, I can go more in depth, but I felt like the fact that he didn't have any dialogue, but he still had a memorable scene that didn't detract or annoy the audience.
Yeah.
It shows how great the Cringer has gotten at implementing him. Because I feel like early on, like, how do you use a character like that?
Exactly.
And people just been shitting on the universe, or just like going after the Crewniverse for this whole time for stuff like this, when really like 2 years ago they had this figured out.
Yeah, and it does make sense because I was always wondering, like, why don't they ever follow up in the cluster? But it makes sense now why they waited until now to bring the cluster back.
Right.
So while the cluster's taking on Yellow Diamond, Blue Diamond's arm ship comes, lands for the temple. You know, it's I don't know if it's from the ocean or just from her ship, but it's like raining. I'm pretty sure that's from the ocean. And Greg, they made Murder Caught canon.
Best line.
Greg says, time to work the old universe charm, and everyone's like, no. That was so perfect, but also it does make me wonder how will Blue Diamond react to Greg. Like, from my perception of it, it seems as if the Diamonds think humans operate the same way as Gems do, where like there's different types of each human. Like how they thought there were like there were just a set of humans called Larses, Sadies. So do they think Greg's or my dad's all look alike? And is Blue gonna notice that that's not this, or that is the same Greg that she took from the zoo?
Right.
Because we don't really get to see that here in this episode. But so much is already going on from there on. But Steven attempts to explain to Blue Diamond, like, I'm Pink Diamond, and I'm really surprised because we see later on in the episode Yellow has like a very negative reaction to Steven saying that, but when Blue says it, she's just kind of like, enough, but like, you think Blue Diamond would have a much stronger reaction than just like, whatever, to Steven saying, Pink Diamond's here.
Right, like, that part didn't make any sense, but maybe she was acting irrationally.
Yeah, she was very irrational.
Yeah.
I think it was just that they were like, you know what? This kid's been just like saying stuff this whole time, and some of it just hasn't like added up at all. Like, he's probably just saying things to throw us off and like get in our heads. Like, we just gotta ignore it. Like, whatever he says, he can come out here and say, I'm Pink Diamond. We just gotta ignore it.
Yeah, and from there on, it's basically just an acting sequence. The Crystal Gem's trying to fight Blue Diamond. I do have one minor complaint. I hate how the show, because this is the second time in a row Alexandra has appeared, but then she instantly gets nerfed. She just instantly gets dethroned. You know, because I and my mom, as soon as she appeared, Aquamarine used her wand, and that unfused Alexandrite. Here, Alexandrite appears, catches Steven. You know, and you think like, all right, like, here we go. Like, but instead, Blue Diamond used her empathy wave, and that unfuses everybody except Garnet, of course, because their will is super strong. Why even include Alexandrite just to do that?
Yeah,
For the previews.
I mean, yeah, it very, very much felt like it was just like a promo shot, or which one to include Alexandrite, but like,
okay, but also like
even after that moment,
It
like,
might have just been a thing to be like, for the audience, because people at home would probably be like, well, why don't they just all fuse together?
But it makes them.
But even because it doesn't really make sense, because after the empathy waves lifted the first time, no one ever really fuses again. You'd think they would, you know, when you're trying to find a diamond, you think they would at least try to fuse again once the empathy wave's gone and they're no longer affected by it.
You're right.
Because at this point, it very much is like, this is the last stand. This is like a bow to the death. Like, you know, as Amethyst says later on, like, don't get chatter, don't get chatter. Like, if they're fighting for their lives, I don't see why they would give up fusion after the first take. That's a very minor nitpick. Afterwards, Garnet makes her stand. She stands to Blue Diamond, which is a moment I've been waiting for forever, for Garnet to stand to Blue Diamond, as it was set up all the way back in Dream in season 4, when she was afraid to go to Pink Falcon because she knew Blue Diamond was there. But this time, she's like, no, this was my day, you ruined it. And Blue Diamond just says, oh, are we just expecting to just like cling on to me? Is that how you're gonna win? She's like, oh no, I'd had to stop you from taking 3 steps to the right. And it pans up. Lapis is back. She has the barn, and she willingly, this is a very powerful one, because the fact Lapis willingly destroyed the barn by throwing it at Blue Diamond. And, you know, because that barn was her home, but it was also her escape from basically dealing with her current situation. You know, she was very much secluded in the barn. She isolated herself. So for her to throw the barn at Blue Diamond, it's her liberating herself truly from running away from everybody and embracing herself as Crystal Gem and embracing that Earth is her home. Because for the longest time, it felt like the barn was her home, but not necessarily the Earth.
Why'd she come back?
I'm assuming when she was out in space, she probably saw the diamond ships come to Earth. But since we only see things from Steven's perspective, yeah, Lapis is back, and she says, if I'm going to get punished like Crystal Gem, I might as well be one.
Right.
And we're from one more. So Lapis is officially a Crystal Gem.
Finally, like,
so
took
great.
long enough.
And something that I found very interesting was Blue Diamond's reaction to it. She's like, a Lapis Lazuli. Because every gem that comes in contact with this planet turned traitor. And I think that was a hint as to Lapis' status on Homeworld. I think Lapis Lazulis are high-ranking gems like Aquamarines, and I can go more in depth on that at a later time, but yeah, Blue Diamond just seemed very surprised by the fact that a Lapis would turn heel. It's definitely a testament to Lapis, how much Lapis has been through, the fact that like she went from potentially this high-ranking gem, and then she got caught up in the war, and then she's taken as a prisoner over and over and over again until she decides she's done being any sort of prisoner or keeping anyone else prisoner, and just decides to just be a Crystal Gem. And from there on, they all sailed to Blue Diamond, which I thought was a great sequence, but at the same time, it was kind of underwhelming. Actually, wait, before any of that happens, I can't believe I forgot to touch on this. The sword breaks.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a big moment.
Yeah, Connie,
What is she gonna do now?
I think this is going to make her a new sword.
Like a better one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One
because like
that-
Rose is dead. Like Rose is passed.
Yeah, there's no point in making a new rope, like repairing the sword. Yeah, Connie, she stands with the Blue Diamond, and like the fact the sword could poof Pink Diamond but not poof Blue Diamond is very. I speculated before that Pink Diamond was a defective gem, a defective diamond, and they kept her around for whatever reason. But the fact that the sword just straight up poofed her, but Blue Diamond can catch it and then shatter it. That says a lot, especially because Connie has been trained by Pearl, a gem, for years, so I don't think it had anything to do with Connie being weak. So it's just like the sword itself should have done most of the work.
Blue Diamond is big.
Yeah.
So it's like someone coming at you with a butter knife as opposed to someone coming at you with a machete.
And she snapped it like it was just like.
Yeah,
toy thing.
she recognized it as a murder weapon, and it's. I feel like that was such a huge moment just because we've had the sword from like episode 20, 22.
Yeah.
Like we've had this sword for so long, so for it to just go away blows my mind. I was not ready. I was not prepared at all for it. Blue Diamond effectively shattered the illusion of Rose Quartz because that sword, that sword was Rose Quartz essentially. When all the Homeworld gems talked about Rose, they always say they remember the sword the most.
Yeah.
The sword is what led Pink Diamond to become Rose Quartz full time. That sword had so much weight to it that it being destroyed, like you can't bring it back. I feel it'd very much be a cop-out if Bismuth repaired it, but I don't think it'd be in Bismuth's character to even like reforge it or forge something similar to it. I think from here on we're gonna get a new sword that represents the current crystal gems and their current situation.
I liked how this whole fight was kind of like, if you've ever played World of Warcraft, it's just like the final boss of like a dungeon where everyone's just like doing like minimal damage, just hoping to like chip away at the.
Yeah, something I actually really liked, and I've said before, I feel like it was too soon for the Diamonds to become protagonists, or not even protagonists, but just on good touch Steven, but like, here they made a good case. Why? Because none of their hits were working. Like, if we had, like, let's say we had a conversation with the Diamonds earlier before in the series, like, it would not have been much different from here.
Yeah.
If not even worse, just because we had fewer gems at that point. So, the fact that their hits did nothing, it shows how invincible the Diamonds are.
Yeah.
But two, it just made me wonder because I think it's a pretty safe bet that we still have White Diamond as an antagonist. And I feel like part of the reason why they had the Diamonds so indestructible here, so, if the time comes where, White Diamond is an antagonist, we could potentially see Yellow and Blue face off against White Diamond. And imagine how powerful it will be for the audience if, Yellow and Blue go down like it's nothing after seeing them tank so many hits after hits after hits.
Right, yeah.
There's a scene with Paradigm and Bismuth. They have some chemistry. I really like seeing Paradigm and Bismuth interact. And Bismuth chucks Paradigm at Blue Diamond on her face. That was a really just great moment. It was a mix of adorable yet badass, and from there on, Lapis throws everybody at Blue Diamond, and we get a really, really great shot of everyone summoning their weapons. Like, if it wasn't for the fact they were in their wedding suits, that could be like a new opening shot.
Right.
Like, that's something I would expect out of a new opening, and maybe the new opening will just recycle that footage for everyone in the normal clothes. And so great storyboarding on that part, and we'll get into the art animation a bit later because I feel like there's just enough praise for the storyboarders for its own segment. But they managed to knock over Blue Diamond, which I thought was awesome.
Didn't her ship fall on her after that?
Because the entire time, literally the entire fight scene, we can see in the background the Cluster and Yellow Diamond ship arm wrestling. The Cluster manages to break Yellow Diamond's ship, slams on Blue Diamond's ship, so Blue Diamond gets crushed by her own ship, and then debris from her ship hits the house, and Greg runs out with Cat Stevens. He's like, I'm gonna stick with you guys. Yeah, they take a moment to like celebrate because they assume the Diamonds at least are probably poofed and need to be taken care of.
And they're like, wow, did you see what I did? Look what I did.
Yeah.
Like, they were like, too soon, you guys. Like, make sure everything's okay.
And from that point, the Cluster gives Steven the thumbs up, and Steven's like, go back into your bubble. Because I know Steven helped make the bubble, but I guess the implication is that they can just rebubble themselves consciously, but then can they unbubble themselves consciously? How does that work?
At this point, maybe they can. They just never bring up the Cluster
Yeah,
again.
it's really vague because, Steven, like I said, just like you can go back into your bubble, but you won't see Steven attribute to the rebubbling. And we never seen a gem bubble themselves, but since it's like different pieces.
Didn't the Cluster technically bubble itself?
They did, but then at the end, Steven made it one big bubble. So, like I said, it's very ambiguous. It doesn't really affect this episode, but from there on, Yellow Diamond comes out of her ship, and her entrance was magnificent. Like, the music, the Diamond theme was like, I can't even describe it.
She just lifts Blue ship up with one hand.
Yeah, and Blue Diamond was fine the entire time. So again, like the diamonds are hard to take care of. Like they do not poop.
Right.
From there on, Peridot goes up. She's like, I told her off already. I can do it again. She's like, hey, Yellow Claw, remember me? And I envisioned this moment for 2 years.
Yeah.
I always thought Yellow Diamond, when she saw Peridot, saw like her without the limit enhancer, she would just flip out and then poof her. But instead, she's just like, no.
Just cold, deadpan.
This is just my interpretation of it, but I got it more as like Yellow Diamond did remember Peridot, but she wasn't near the satisfaction of saying, I remember you.
Yeah.
This was something that they've been kind of building up to with Peridot, that I hope they explore, is that Peridot's very full of herself. She always thinks she's center of attention. We even saw Maid of Honor at the very end. She was the last one losing the can. When everyone dropped their can because it's all business, she's like, less importantly, who is that? She puts herself on a pedestal. So for Yellow Diamond to deny her the satisfaction of being remembered, I think hopefully that'll be a turning point for her character going forward. We'll see.
Especially since that was such a big moment for Peridot. Like, yeah, I told off Yellow Diamond. Like, she must be so mad.
Yeah, this is something that Peridot has bragged for literally ever since it happened. Whenever Yellow Diamond was mentioned, she's like, I told her off. Yellow Diamond's just like, I don't remember you, blah, 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 blah. And then Steven freaks out because at this point, Peridot could be shattered.
Yeah.
And he's like, stop, I'm the one you're missing, I'm Pink Diamond. And Yellow Diamond gets pissed.
Yeah.
I feel like in Yellow's eyes, it was like, I'm Pink Diamond. Like, that's probably how she interpreted it. Steven's almost his shield. It did not help. Yellow Diamond cursed out someone. At first, I thought he got poofed. Because, the music and everything, I thought the situation with Steven got poofed.
I think he did technically get poofed.
He was just unconscious.
I thought that was what that plane was him. Because, like, when you're poofed, you go and, like, you reform and everything. Like, I assumed that was, like, him being poofed.
No, because Connie still saw his body and, like,
yeah,
he was unconscious.
His body's organic.
Yeah.
So, like, I was thinking, like...
Oh, are you saying, like that's
gem,
his version of poofing?
Yeah, like, the gem half of him got poofed, but, like, his body was still there.
Yeah, so the last segment of the episode, Steven's unconscious. He gets in this astral plane. I don't want to say gem astral plane because Connie's there also, with everyone kind of just standing. On top of them is like their actual real world projections. Kind of a way to just kind of skip out on a fight scene.
Yeah, kind of.
And it was kind of, it was kind of goofy because Garnet like punching the air.
I didn't get that part.
And Lapis is like, I'm not done yet. Then she gets poofed.
I know, we didn't get to see it.
I'm glad Lapis finally did get poofed. Now she got poofed so she could form a star because now she's a full-fledged crystal gem. But it was really anticlimactic. I felt it was underwhelming.
I don't know. I feel like it had sort of like a Jaws effect. Where it's like the fact that you didn't see it leaves it up to the imagination.
I mean, kind of, but like, we still saw like the pose she was in and everything. We didn't actually see like it happen in motion. But from there on, Steven interacts with people he has to make contact with them. He speaks to them, they can hear him, so he tells Connie to protect my body. And this moment was actually foreshadowed earlier in the season in The Big Show. Sadie's song, Go 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 Ghost, like, why can't you see me? Those lyrics reflect Steven's powers in this state.
There's so much foreshadowing on this show.
So essentially from here, the objective is just to get to the diamonds. Steven goes to each and every gem. Garnet, he's like, you're made of love. A lot of callbacks. For Pearl, she's like, I'd do it for her, I'd do it for him. He's like, don't forget about yourself, Pearl, which I really liked because, Pearl still is fighting for Rose, who's no longer in existence, and Steven, who, Steven doesn't want Pearl to live for him. Steven wants Pearl to live for herself. So that was a very, very heartwarming moment. I very much enjoyed it. Amethyst is just like, don't get shattered, don't get shattered, don't get shattered. He's like, you can do it, Amethyst. Bismuth's just like, I just got back and I'm gonna lose my friends. And Steven gives her encouragement.
Right.
And also, I wonder why Lion didn't have like a representation in that realm.
I mean, Lion's just like its own thing.
Because he can't say anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you thought like at least like he'd be there. Like Steven doesn't go on him.
We don't even know what this realm is right now though. So maybe they're still.
We didn't see Greg either.
Yeah, we didn't see Greg at all.
Yeah, but Greg wasn't in the battle.
But yeah. Also, Greg's not a gem, so can he not?
No, but Connie was
Connie.
there. That's what I'm saying because like organic life was there. So, but like Lion kind of disappears after like. Because Lion's not in the rest of the episode after Steven gets poofed or sent to this realm, whatever you want to call it. But he gets to Yellow and Blue, and they're emitting this aura, which is auras that we've seen before, the aura in the Corruption Blast, or the aura that Blue Diamond uses for Empathy Wave. And we see how Yellow feels about this. She feels responsible for Pink's death. And it seems as if Yellow was the one who had the final say in Pink in the colony, and she gave in, which I relate that development because it showed just Yellow Diamond's guilt and that, she's not a total heartless bastard, which we already saw in That Will Be All with her song, but this, solidified it. Because for the longest time, people thought Yellow Diamond was just kind of shady, which she can be.
Yeah.
But this was definitely like the moment of like, no, she has emotions, she cares. And for Blue, she's just like, the more I make these gems suffer, the more I long to see you. And I felt like Blue Diamond's objective in all this, she really was only there just to make the gems feel bad. it's crazy.
Yeah.
And I really hope we get to see what led up to them deciding to come to Earth. Again, my personal theory is that, there's an attack on Homeworld or a Homeworld colony somewhere within the million planets they can call Homeworld, or something under the Diamond's authority, and alien race is under attack, which is why they came to Earth in a hurry to get the clusters, which is also why they came unaccompanied, because their soldiers are probably off combating this force. But Steven manages to contact both Blue and Yellow. At first they think it's a trick, but he tries to explain that pink faked are shattering, but he ultimately ends up emanating Pink Diamond's aura. He taps inside of his gemstone and unlocks the diamond power, and that's how they recognize that he's pink. And I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like Steven's gemstone at the end of the episode and the next episode promo was a lot pinker than it was prior.
That could be like a symbol for like how he's changed.
Yeah, because I feel as if his gemstone was kind of like a darker pink. But at the end of the episode, it's a light pink, and the next episode preview, it's also like a noticeably lighter pink. I don't know if that's just a coloring, not error, but like I don't know if that's just the lighting, or I don't know if it actually changed, but it looks a lot different.
If it actually changed, it would probably just be to represent how he's furthering his skills and realizing that he's like a full diamond.
Isn't it kind of weird that Rose had a weapon, but it seems like the other diamonds just have their auras?
Well, we don't know if they don't have weapons or not, because something that we saw, or we could observe from this fight, is that while the gems, they were focusing on the battle, they were struggling, the diamonds weren't into the fight at all. They were just thinking about Pink Diamond. Yeah. So they weren't really pushed against a corner to have to summon a weapon. If Pink Diamond has a weapon, I think that other diamonds certainly do have weapons. We just haven't seen them yet.
Maybe with like the hypothetical White Diamond fight.
Yeah.
We'll see like their weapons.
Exactly. This definitely felt like series finale-ish, but it was also on a scale where they can still top themselves in terms of like action or a spectacle, because, the BT citizens weren't really involved. And I imagine that in a series finale type, like a final battle type scenario, they would be involved just because they've been there the entire series. But here they just kind of evacuated. We had the crystal gems there, but they could have done a lot more. And I definitely think their experience from this battle will cause them to train harder, or at least make stronger weapons. Because they didn't get anywhere by fighting the diamonds. If it wasn't for Steven emitting Pink's aura, it would have been a scrap.
They would have shattered Pink Diamond. Like they would have just like killed them all, and then it would have been over, and it'd be a really ironic ending.
But and the episode ends on a cliffhanger. Yellow and Blue are just looking over, and it makes sense because obviously, if you suspect the person that you're mourning is alive, that you blame the death for, you're gonna drop everything to check in on them.
I feel like this happens a lot in Steven Universe, where like we finally get to where we want to be at, and then it's over.
Yeah, I mean that's how you get people to come back for next time.
I know, but I want to see what happens next.
It's a show that's meant to be binged that only comes on like every several months.
Yeah.
This is the worst first time episode to watch.
Yeah.
Just because so many plot lines come to a head. Just the general story of this episode, it was very. They crammed a lot in 22 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was rushed at some points. You can't deny that, but I feel like just because it was rushed, it didn't detract from the episode. It felt as if, despite being rushed, it was still very strong. There were no breather moments.
No, it was a perfect climax of everything it wanted to be.
The art in this episode, like the art animation was gorgeous. Everything up until Steven being called by Alexandrite was animated by Rough Draft, and you can tell it was the usual Rough Draft nonsense. Nothing looks too bad, but like the beginning where Steven was in the mirror kind of looked awkward. But I think just because he doesn't have a neck. This episode was storyboarded by Katie Mitroff, Paul V, Mickey Brewster, and Jeff Liu. It was very intentional to have Mickey and Jeff storyboard the second half of this episode because it was all the action sequences. Mickey's diamonds look amazing. Her blue diamond looked very nice. Now, it did create like a small inconsistency with like Blue Diamond's awkward hairpiece that comes together because when her hood was on, it was just like kind of shorter hair. It didn't really matter though. It looks great. I prefer that more, actually.
Yeah, it's like more dynamic.
Yeah, Mickey and Jeff brought their A game for the action sequences, and it wasn't like the most dynamic action sequence. I think the reason why I was blown away just because all these things came together finally, like all the gems finally together, the cluster and everything. But when you actually look at the action, it wasn't anything revolutionary, but it's not going to be just because they're fighting the diamonds. Like it was not an even playing field at all. So I feel like the fact that they were throwing whatever and hoping it sticks, that makes sense for the situation they're in. I do wish we got just more of a team dynamic. Like, for example, in the video game Save the Light, each party member have their own team abilities, and for Steven and Garnet, Steven has his spiky bubble and Garnet spikes him like in volleyball. I feel like we could have saw that here.
We kind of saw it with Lapis.
But she like threw everybody.
Yeah, but it was like the same idea.
Yeah, I just felt like the concept of teamwork was missing in the actual fight, besides Bismuth throwing Peridot and Lapis throwing everybody. And even Peridot, like, I know Lapis took the bar into space, but the fact none of her gadgets ever came into play was kind of disappointing. Like, she just had the cans. Peridot was a joke in this fight, which I felt was very underwhelming. And Peridot, someone's very tech savvy. I felt like even with the barn gone, she could have made, like, contraptions or something in her spare time.
Yeah.
But instead, she just had cans that were clearly ineffective, and I felt like she could have just done a lot more, or in, like, the lids to trash cans, to like, maneuver everybody around with her telekinesis.
Yeah.
You know, kind of just like move them on platforms. Lapis did teamwork. She was streaming Blue Diamond. Lapis was incredibly OP this episode, as she usually is. But the fact Lapis was able to restrain Blue Diamond long enough to throw everybody at her was impressive. I think that shows how strong a Lapis Lazuli is. It was badass. Yeah, I do wish we saw more of a team dynamic. I wish we did see like a bit more fusion, just because realistically, like I said, they're fighting for the death. They're gonna have to go all out. And we didn't really see we saw all out, but we didn't see all out just like strategy. It didn't feel like these were the gems who went through a war and who were praised for their brilliant strategies in war. It did not drag out on the episode at all. Like the action, even if it wasn't 10 out of 10, it was not underwhelming, because when you're invested in these characters, you don't think about that.
No, it flew by too. Like it didn't feel like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
However long it was. It felt like, wait, I want to keep going. Why is it ending? You know.
And Yellow Diamond's and Yellow Diamond's introduction was phenomenal. Just the way she punched up her arm chip and then heal.
You're like, oh, it's going down.
Yeah.
Like, she's out of the ship.
Something I love about both the Diamonds, but especially Yellow, whenever they move in the show, it just feels powerful.
Yeah.
And I think that's very impressive. We can just have characters walking, but then you have this one character who, whenever they move, you just feel a radiance. That's what they accomplished with Yellow Diamond, and that's something that's very hard to accomplish. But from both the sound design, from just the impact of her movements, you feel it. And like, she was so fierce in this episode. Like, you see why she's a diamond.
Yeah, no,
like she lived up to her name. I think what everybody imagined Yellow Diamond could do, we saw just a glimpse of that full potential, and it did not disappoint at all. The music again was phenomenal, not just beyond the song, but all the musical callbacks, like Stronger Than You when Garnet was approaching Blue Diamond, the little chiptune theme when everybody was fighting. It felt like Steven Universe. Like, this episode just showcased everything about Steven Universe. Everyone did a phenomenal job. The storyboarders, the direction. I'm sure Rebecca had a lot of input into the episode. Ben and Matt, because this is like the last season they worked on, I believe. So they had to do the story outline for this episode. They did a great job. I was thoroughly just in love with this episode. I mean, that's all I really have to say.
Yeah, I just am ready for more.
We only got about like 2 years left.
Yeah.
Where would you rate this episode, like among all the other ones so far?
Top 3.
I would say it's up there with Jailbreak.
I feel like it was better than Jailbreak, but also, I don't know, like Jailbreak, I love it, but it's never been one of my favorites. Even though I recognize how iconic it is for the series.
Yeah, as far as iconicness, it's up there with Jailbreak for sure.
And when you have to rewatch it, it will stand up as one of like the quintessential episodes.
Definitely my top 3, but the thing is, I don't know if I'd put it in my number 1. But that's just because I need to watch it like a few thousand more times than I've already had.
Yeah. Do you even know what your number 1 would be now?
I mean, I really like Mindful Education, just from like, not just from a story standpoint, but the production standpoint. Because, like, I look at episodes more for just the story content, but the production values and everything in it. Like I said, it's up there, but I don't know if it's my number 1 quite yet. It might be, by the end of the series, I definitely think everybody will remember this episode especially, just because how could you forget it?
Right, yeah.
They kept things very vague, like why the diamonds came, like how the cluster rebubbles itself, but these are all things to explore in the future. Yeah, that's all I really have to say.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna play some of your reactions from Stardust. Roll it.
So we just watched Reunited. So awesome. When Lapis came back, I was like, what?
Oh my gosh, all of us were all like,
Lapis! I know, I loved it when she was like at the bottom. Like Garnet's like, I just have to prevent you from moving.
yes.
And they were like, Garnet.
In the cluster?
The cluster, oh my gosh. That was like, what?
Yes, I cannot wait until September, and I'm about to have to wait, but it was amazing. Good going.
Yeah.
This episode of Reunited is the most heart-pounding, soul-sucking, rocking concert that I've ever thought I could ever experience with Steven Universe. That wedding ceremony was completely beautiful. Just seeing everybody together and Ruby and Sapphire coming together, kissing on the lips and becoming Garnet was just so beautiful. The action with the diamonds, I mean, it was emotional, and it was like, yeah, man. Like, sorry for the cursing, but I'm sorry, I have to.
My mind is racing. Holy matrimony! Like, what the heck? Holy matrimony! Like, the diamonds, Lavis, everything! Steven's new powers! Holy matrimony! Holy matrimony! Holy matrimony!
Okay, I'm in the middle of an ad right now of Steven Universe, and then it was like, Steven was crying or whatever, and then he was like, oh shoot, blue diamond, and then and diamond ships come in, whatever. Theory was wrong, poop, but then the ad just comes in and I'm like, why? I just got done watching Steven Universe Reunited, the end of Heart of the Crystal Gems. Oh my gosh, that was so good! I can't believe that the diamonds actually attacked and Steven went into their minds and did whatever. He spoke to them and showed he is pink. And oh my gosh, it was such a good episode. Everything on that episode was so good. And the plot was so good.
Again, please download Stardust, link is in the description. Follow and tag us at Roundtable Vids. If you want to help the Roundtable Girls, support us on Patreon. Get access to exclusive perks and have your name featured at the end of the video like all these beautiful, wonderful people. Link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and if you're new here, subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications, stay in the loop with all things Steven. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. Oscar Thoughts,
Retro Nemo,
And Tom.
signing out.